Well, hello everybody and welcome back to John's Workshop, and in this video we're going to be doing something quite out of the ordinary for this channel, and I'm going to be making a pen from metal. So as usual I'll do my quick intro. So why am I doing this? You may well ask. A couple of reasons. I've always fancied having a go at making a pen. Years and years ago it was wood turning I wanted to do, but I've never really got into that. So this is a metalworking shop, so let's have a crack at making one from metal. So that's what we're going to do, and it's going to force me to do some small diameter turning. I've got a Harrison M300 lathe, which is, for this type of project, is very overkill, very big, which means undoubtedly as I get into this I'm going to need to find smaller and smaller tooling to go along. So that's what I'm going to do, is find out what gaps I've got in my tooling, which is going to help me, because at some point smaller jobs might come into the workshop that are going to require small tooling, so this will help flush some of that out. A bit around design challenge. I've not designed anything and made anything myself. Standard tooling for machines, rectangular stuff, fine. Something like this where you've got moving parts in it, trying to work it all out, so a bit of a challenge from that perspective. And I've done lots of scribbling, and I'll show you some of that in a minute, trying to figure this out. So I enjoyed doing that and scratching my head trying to figure out how this was all going to go together. I've never made a pen in my life. I've watched a few videos of people doing different stuff, but I'm really coming at this from a blank sheet of paper, as though I've been set the challenge of make a pen, and I'm going to try and make as much of it as I can just out of scrap that I've got laying around in the workshop. So that's the challenge I've set myself. I'm really looking forward to doing this, because it's a bit of a project and hopefully something quite nice at the back end of it if it works. So with all that being said and done, I'll bring you into the board. I think that's everything on there. That's everything on there. I'll bring you into the bench, and we'll just have a quick look at what we're going to have a go with in terms of materials, and then we'll get on with it. Okay, so lots and lots of scribblings. I am cheating slightly here, as it's the first one I've ever made. I've purchased myself the rotating sort of advance and retract mechanism for the refill that the refill sits in. I'm not going to attempt to make that on my first go, but that's the only thing that I'm going to use that's bought in. Everything else is going to get made. And I've got this old drawbar, I think this was of some description, so this is what we're going to make it out of. And then for the clip, I had the idea of using some of this stuff, which is banding, steel banding that they use for pallets and things like that. I don't think this is going to work. I've had a bit of a play, and this not being spring steel, it just won't do the job. I've got this real old Chesterman 12-inch rule that you can hardly read any of the graduations on anymore. I thought about using that for the pen clip and leaving the graduations on it. Sort of a bit of an engineering theme, but I just can't, even though I can't read the graduations on this anymore, can't bring myself to chop that up. So what I have done is I've ordered in a piece of spring steel, small amount, and we're going to make the clip from some spring steel, which is the right material. So that's it. Everything you see is that, the refill and the mechanism, and a small piece of spring steel that's yet to come into the workshop, that we're going to turn into, hopefully, a working pen. So I'll crack on now, take you over to the lathe, and we'll get started. so far so good. That's got the first operations done on all the 4 bits, so we now need to change the lathe setup around to do the second operations on all of these 4 bits now. Okay, time for the final assembly. Very happy. Okay, I guess in the style of every other pen making video on YouTube, all that remains to be done is this. And I guess in the true style of every pen making video on YouTube, all that remains is this.